how can we use molecular data and the fossil record at the same time, both to explain things and to carry out what I said we need to be able to carry out to maintain the status of evolution as an explanatory science, and that is that it must be able to make predictions. So the first thing that you say notice is that of course evolution is testable. If, for example, you found fossilized birds that are supposed to occur according to evolutionary theories 30 million years ago, and you find them inside fossils, inside strata that are known to be 250 million years ago, something would have gone wrong with the theory of common descent. The point is we don't see anything such as that. Now it is possible that even then we might look for a different natural theory, a theory other than the theory of evolution. And we might be able to say the naturalism part of all of this in that way. But I don't even need to go there because it's clearly not the case that evolution itself is presented with any problems at all from the point of view of data of this sort. In particular, what I have up there is a phylogeny of 23 living species of turtles, all the extant lineages of turtles, and these phylogenies were constructed using DNA data from both the nucleus and the mitochondria. And then one particular branching point was dated accurately using a fossil. And with just this data, the DNA data and the age of one fossil, the branching point, the time of branching of all the other parts of the tree could be predicted. And then you could test the age of the fossils to see whether or not the predictions match the theory. And in this case, they exactly match the theory. So the only conclusions that we should be drawing now from this part of talking about evolutionary theory is that it is no more rational to doubt evolutionary theory than it is to doubt the Copernican theory. Evolutionary theory emerges as one of the most well-established scientific theories in history, and in fact, some biologists would go much further and say and agree with Theodosius Dobzhansky, the geneticist, to say that nothing in biology makes sense except in the light of evolution. Then, at the same time, we will admit, and I will list at some point, a bunch of unsolved problems that remain within evolutionary theory. No scientific theory that is alive is complete. Evolutionary theory has unsolved problems in it, just like any other scientific theory. The question we should, and of course, we should also admit, as in the case of any scientific theory, it's ultimately fallible. It's possible that a century or more of different kinds of data would accumulate and make us question evolutionary theory as a whole, but that's not what's relevant in the debate today. What's relevant intellectually is whether or not the number of things that evolutionary theory cannot solve is decreasing, whether or not we are getting more insight from the theory, whether or not there is progress. And from the point of view of science curricula, the crucial issue is that what we should teach as science is the best science of our day, and evolutionary theory inside biology just happens to be that best science of our day. When would it be rational to doubt evolutionary theory? Well, I can see two sorts of circumstances in which it would be rational to doubt a theory that's far-reaching of this sort. One of them is that there were a long period of no progress in solving unresolved problems. And some creationists have indeed claimed that that happens to be true, in particular Michael Behe with his theories of irreducible complexity. I'm not going to, those Behe's examples can all be rather easily resolved by looking at the co-option of genes. I'm not going to deal with that now, but should the occasion arise during the course of the debate, I'll come back to that. There were also conceptual arguments that show that was supposed to show that evolutionary processes cannot produce the kind of phenomena seen in the world. This is really associated with the figure of William Dembski and his use of the no-free lunch theorems and the concept of complex specified information. All of these relies on rather straightforward misinterpretation of the mathematical results. And I know that there will be disagreement between me and some of the panelists who regard Dembski as the Isaac Newton of information theory, and I will come back to that as the occasion demands. In the meantime, I want to take, say, one unresolved issue in evolutionary biology, which creationists like to harp on, and Paul himself has written extensively on it, and that's the alleged unresolved issue of the Cambrian explosion, and that it produces all kinds of problems that cannot be resolved within evolutionary theory itself. The idea here being that there was this period, roughly 500 million years ago, when we begin to see in the fossil record fossils of all the major phyla of animals that exist in the world today. And the argument goes that so much diversification could not have occurred so rapidly without the intervention of the designer or some other creature like that. Now, the first point to note there is that the Cambrian explosion really is not a short period of life. It's a period of time. It's 53 million years. Fossil animals have been found before. It's not as if fossil animals were created suddenly during that period. There have been questions as to whether or not some of the divergences that we see in the Cambrian actually occurred much earlier than that, almost 800 million years ago, according to molecular data. So any interpretation of the Cambrian explosion that suggests that it happened very, very rapidly is tenuous at best. More than that, evidence is rapidly accumulating now that under certain circumstances, given certain genetic structures, that evolution can happen quite rapidly.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so let me finish with that and say that one of the genes that people have studied is the Hox gene. And in the case of the Hox gene, a single gene can make a difference between six-leg arthropods and the arthropods that have a much higher degree of legs. And so something like Cambrian explosion could have happened very rapidly.